An average man named John, dressed in office wear, walks on the sidewalk at night in a semi-sleepy downtown. He appears dazed and confused, but is clearly not drunk. It is not winter, but not quite fall. John walks faster and faster, unsure of where he is going, what he's about to do, or why he is where he is. He has broken into a hurried pace when he finally catches a full glimpse of himself in a window. He stops, as if recognizing himself for the first time, partly disgusted, but partly amazed, as any new creation would be with the discovery of its own existence. John drinks a cup of coffee at a table near the window of a bustling cafe, half-heartedly reading a newspaper. Sarah, John's co-worker, orders a bagel at the counter behind him. It is handed to her and she turns around, noticing John, who has abandoned his newspaper and is staring idly out of the window. She walks over to him, pulls out the chair at the table, and sits down. John is broken out of his trance and now stares dumbly at her as she pulls out her bagel and begins smearing it with cream cheese.
I hate my life.
I'm sorry, who are you? Have we met?
Good morning to you too. Of course we have. Stop being ridiculous. I still can't believe it. I worked so hard to get picked for the board position, and then Larry still gets it. Unbelievable.
Right, Larry's been around for a while. Been waiting on the promotion even longer. I'm sorry, what's your name? Are you new to the office?
I'm Sarah, and no, I've been working there for a year now. Our paths cross pretty frequently.
Oh, well, I'm John.
Yeah, I know. What have you been doing with your life? Other than coffee and crosswords, you seem like a 9-to-5 guy. No offense.
Why do you ask that?
I was just curious.
My job works for me. I like it.
No, you work for it. You probably want to quit right now, and you're just lying to yourself. Even your tie is tied wrong.
Is it hard to believe that some people may actually enjoy their careers?
I don't find it hard to believe. I'm sure some people like pushing paper in a suit in a boring office all day. Look around you, John. We're all drinking this coffee because we've become addicted to it. Your briefcase barely has anything in it. You just want to look like you're doing something. The concept of business attire is a way to make those who are insecure about themselves feel empowered. Don't you see? It's not about you. It's about corporations and greed, and we're all just trapped. I don't think anyone who really realizes what they're a part of likes it.
Well, that is certainly an interesting insight, but I happen to think market shares are incredibly important as well.
I'm sure you do.
But I also don't think it is fair for you to make assumptions like that.
I've experienced enough of this to know that it's applicable to most people. I'll see you around.
John watches Sarah as she leaves the cafe. He finishes the rest of his coffee and gets up. He pushes the door open to the outside world. The sun is too bright now, and all of a sudden he has a pounding headache. The world reverses, and John, unwillingly and unaware, walks backwards into the cafe to sit at the same table with the same cup of coffee once more. John finishes the coffee, leaving it on the table. The cup refills itself to the brim and overflows. Something is not right. The office has changed from its ordinary gray decor. It is more colorful, and John's co-workers are walking around the office without their left shoes. John's expression does not change. He does not see what is happening around him. He sits at his desk, opens his computer, and begins typing mechanically. A coworker approaches him to ask about a project he was supposed to finish. The coworker is wearing a ridiculous hat, as if it is the most normal thing, but John doesn't seem to see it. The next cubicle over, a coworker is speaking complete gibberish on the phone. 2 people are playing recorders. Others, with empty glasses, are toasting each other. The coworker who asked John about a project leaves. John picks up a heavy file to take to Sarah on his right. He stands, leaving his cubicle. He thumbs through all the papers to make sure he isn't forgetting anything. Sarah walks by him.
Oh, is that for me? Thanks.
John goes home, goes to bed, wakes up, goes to work. Coworkers are walking around with bread stapled to their shoulders. John, again, shows no reaction. He sits down and begins typing on his computer. A coworker, with bread stapled to his shoulders, stops by to ask about the same project. John picks up a file to take to Sarah on his right. He stands, leaves his cubicle. He thumbs through all the papers to make sure he isn't forgetting anything. Sarah walks by him, without bread on her.
Oh, is that for me? Thanks.
John goes home, goes to bed, wakes up, goes to work. Co-workers are walking around without their left shoes on, with their blazers inside out and backwards. John again shows no reaction. He sits down and begins typing on his computer. A coworker, the same one from all of the other days, with an inside-out blazer, stops by to ask about the same project. The coworker leaves. John picks up a heavy file to take to Sarah on his right. He stands, leaves his cubicle. He thumbs through all the papers to make sure he isn't forgetting anything. Sarah walks by him.
Oh, is that for me? Thanks, John. Do me one more favor. Wake up. Wake up!
The same day repeats. John wakes up, goes to work, goes home, goes to bed. This loop of activities begins getting faster and faster. Sarah's face, his co-workers' faces, floating in this mirage of activities until...
I thought about what you said.
That was a long time ago.
It certainly feels that way. It took me too long. Too long.
You still have time.
You've changed me. In a previous life, my mind was so infected with monotony that I didn't even know I was am living. I hate that past life. Where are we? Where are we going?
We're all in different places.
Are we? Look around you. Look at me, sitting right here. Look at all these people. There's no escape. It's a loop, Sarah. No matter where I go, I'll be sucked right back where I began.
Beginnings aren't usually looked at as bad things.
There are no beginnings here, not like the ones in fairy tales. The beginning is the end because nothing happens.
You know what you are?
What?
You're a crybaby.
Excuse me?
You heard me perfectly. You said you thought about our last conversation. You didn't think very hard. We all hate our lives, John. You could say that, in a way, we were born hating them. It's the actions that we take that will make a change. That's what living is. That's what time is for.
Excuse me, hi, can I get another coffee? Sarah, do you want any?
John turns to where Sarah has been sitting, but the chair is empty. John freezes, stunned. He stands up to look around the cafe, but all he sees are people talking. Sarah is gone. He shakes off his confusion and walks out of the cafe. The coffee cup refills to just below the brim. John gets back to his apartment. He takes a good long look at everything inside of it. He can't allow himself to enter the apartment any farther. He looks at the keys in his hand, and it is here when he realizes that he has autonomy. John leaves the apartment. John walks on the sidewalk at night in a semi-sleepy downtown. He appears dazed and confused, but is clearly not drunk. It is not winter, but not quite fall. John walks faster and faster, unsure of where he is going, what he's about to do, or why he is where he is. He has broken into a hurried pace when he finally catches a full glimpse of himself in a window. He stops, as if recognizing himself for the first time, partly disgusted, partly amazed, as any new creation would be with the discovery of its own existence. Perhaps wondering if he is real, if anything is. He reaches out to touch his reflection, and at this moment, Sarah's reflection appears alongside his in the window. He turns around to see her, but there is nothing there. Just John, reaching out a hand to grab air.